Happy Friday. Welcome into the studio. It is time for our VO Marketing Pro numbers. Todd Barsness, 15-year full-time voiceover veteran, going for $150,000 this year, trying to slow down. The last, 10 years you've made over $100,000. The last 8 years it's been over $200,000, and there were 4 years in there that you made over $300,000. Last year you made $269.
Who's counting?
Who's counting? Yeah. Your goal was to make what, $250, and you made over that. So This year you're trying to slow down. So it's a little bit different than most people. You're trying to pump the brakes without turning the whole faucet off and losing some of your clientele. This year, I'm Hudson Barsness. This year, I'm trying to make $110,000. Last year, I made $80,000. I've just started my 5th year full-time in voiceover, so we'll see how that goes. We're glad you've joined us. If you're new to this channel, welcome. Feel free to check out our channel and see that we don't do a whole lot. We just kind of show up here and we give our numbers, an unhyped, just the cold, hard cash facts, as you say, just because we think that's important, especially since you're maybe coming here and watching us. So.
Yeah. And we do have a private group that's $50 a month. And we just got off of our Friday afternoon webinar where we get together. We give these numbers just like we give to you, but we do a much more deep dive. People can ask questions about strategies and tactics that we do and how we make our money and, how we don't make our money sometimes. But we, as Hudson has said many times, we have a bias that in some ways goes against the standard industry mindset. And we're not trying to do that. It's just I built a business without knowing that there was a standard industry thought pattern and mindset and kind of rules and regulations. And so that's what we talk about regularly. We have multiple opportunities for people to learn and be encouraged throughout the week. So if you want to find out more about that, there's an email there, johnbarsness@vomarketingpro.com.
And the reason we give our numbers once again is to put a little bit of credibility, especially because of Dad's success. It's not to brag. It's if you come to this channel and you see 2 talking heads, people talking about voiceover, we think it's important that we should have some sort of credibility. And so the credibility is the year after year success in his business, and then me doing it the same exact way, and seeing if I can do it the same way and make money the same way to see if it works. So anyway, that's why we do it. People have accused us of bragging and that you shouldn't talk about your numbers. We just have a different thought about that because people pay for certain people's expertise, and if you've been successful, there's probably a reason you probably made a fair amount of money. So anyway, that just is important.
We'll get into the numbers in just a moment, but since you brought that up, I was thinking about this the other day, all I have is my numbers. I don't have, I've produced these demos for these people and I've coached this number of people and student testimonials and conferences that I presented at, and my face surrounded by all sorts of big name brands. All I've got is my numbers. And so that's what I give you. It's all I got. So it's not only to be transparent, but it's also to say, this is all I got to show for how I do my business. And then you have to decide whether that's something you want to do.
And once again, I would think most people who, whether they give their numbers or not, coaches, voiceover talents, whoever it is, whether they're having a good month or not, I think they'd probably base it on how much they've made. Oh, was my January better than my February? Oh, I had a good month. It's probably based off of their income. It's not, I had more representation this month.
If you're in business.
If
you're in business. If you're not, if it's a hobby or if it's a sidelight or something you do in retirement, or you just are into the camaraderie or acting side of it, which is super great. But I've run mine as a business. That's how I think of myself. And so that's all I've got is my business numbers. And I think that in a business sense determines whether you're successful or not.
And I guess that's what even the folks that don't look at it that way, they might have feelings about their business that say, oh, this wasn't as good of a month.
Right.
Well, why was that? Well, my numbers were down. Yeah. Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
So I'm not trying to out people and stuff like that.
No,
it's
true though.
Our world is run by money, and businesses exist to make money.
Yeah.
So if you're a successful business, you're probably making good money. There we go. Anyway, let's jump into our VO Marketing Pro numbers. Thanks for sticking through that. This week we had 23 warm responses. 8 auditions and 3 jobs booked.
Great.
Deanna Johnston booked 2, and Bill DeWeese booked 1. So these are other voiceover talent that have come to our VO Marketing Pro business, which Dad and I don't necessarily run. We don't get any money for it or anything like that. My brother Joe and John Barsness run it, and they're basically, essentially, doing the same thing that Andy, who's Todd's assistant, he hired him to do direct marketing for him. We're basing that model for other people, so they get John or Joe as kind of a direct marketing assistant like Andy. So there it is. That's where those numbers come from. So.
And by the way, I had a new client this week, too.
Did you?
That doesn't go into that number,
No.
nor do my recurring clients, because I had 20 recurring client jobs, but we don't do that.
Yeah.
But that's how I built my business, a lot of it with direct email marketing.
And then I had one recurring client, but I didn't put that on there.
Yeah.
So this week so I'm trying to make $2,100 a week, $110,000 for this year. 1 warm response in direct marketing, 0 auditions in direct marketing. I had 8 jobs between Upwork, Voice123 Direct Marketing, Fiverr, Voices.com, and ACX. ACX is fairly new. I've just added that. I had 4 jobs on Upwork for a total of $261. I had 1 Voice123 job for a total of $200, 1 direct marketing job for a total of $125. I had a job and a tip for a total of $20, and I got one of the second Voices.com job I've ever booked, $252 for me, and then nothing on ACX. So my voiceover alone total this week was below my goal, $858, so about $1,300 short. And then I do editing on the side. This doesn't go towards my voiceover alone income. It's editing for Dad because he has a client that I've worked for. So 9 hours, $20 an hour, $180. Add that on to $858, you get $1,038, and that was my week.
Sounds good. And my week, as Hudson said, I'm slowing down, so I'm doing very few auditions. That's one of the ways I'm turning the faucet down a bit and try not to be so busy. Voice123 0, Voices.com 0, and Upwork 0. Didn't do any proposals there. Fiverr was $1,672, and direct marketing was $3,625 for a total of $5,297. I'm shooting for $3,000, and so I was over by about $2,300. So $5,297 in voiceover alone income. I don't have any other income at all.
Yeah. You notice, just one thing before we go. I didn't hit my goal, and this year has kind of been that way, but I'm not flailing. I'm not, trying to change everything up, because just last month, I don't know if I've shared this, and it's not to brag, but I had a $10,200 month. So it was above my goal of monthly income. So being in the past, I've been, what's wrong with me? I've let it destroy my confidence. If I've had a bad week, kind of like this, not a great week for my standards, but I'm not letting it deter me in any way. I've just been going after auditions, continuing to do what I've done, exactly what I did last month to get a five-figure month. So yep. I'm going to keep doing that. So anyway, that's just a little thing there for you.
It's encouraging.
All right.
Good
Thanks
job.
for joining us. If you're new, we appreciate you stopping by. If you found these helpful, feel free to share them with somebody else that you might know that might be interested in them. We'll be here next Friday, rain or shine. See you later. Have a good weekend. Take care.